Please give it up for our first comedian, Rashee.
Oh, please, please. That's enough applause, everyone. Calm down. Please settle down. Everyone take your seats. Thank you so much. First, I want to apologize for my appearance, you guys. I don't remember what makeup is. I mean, I remember the concept of it, and I even went into the bathroom and I laid all of it out on the counter and I looked at it, but I don't remember how to use it. So my apologies. I did grab some eye drops so I could look a little less tired. And I went ahead and put my hair into pigtails so maybe I could take 20 years off of my life. I wish Google Hangouts had that option, like an Instagram filter or something to like touch up your face so I could have like those giant lashes. I don't know, maybe like a crown of flowers or something like that. Well, check-in time, you guys. How's everyone doing? I mean, I know it's like a pandemic right now and like a impending race war. The world is pretty awful, but I don't know. What have you been doing to cope? Because for me, I've been watching quite a bit of porn. And I have actually seen so much porn that I've had to cross over into like the weird genres, like mother and stepson. I mean, like that is disgusting. That is not even your own son. My son told me that I am a trash mom. And this was pre-pandemic. This was because I packed him a Lunchable 3 times a week for lunch. And yes, I can see how this is very lazy and it is uninspired, but you have to know that he asked for this. You know, bro, I'm already a single mom because of you, and now you're gonna come and call me trash? Like, gee, thanks. To add insult to injury, a couple days ago, he found a vibrator under my pillow. So he comes out of the bedroom and he's like, Mom, Mom, what's this? And so I just grabbed it out of his hand and turned it off and chucked it down the hallway like it was a pencil going down the hallway. And unfortunately, my dog is part retriever, so he ran down the hall, grabbed it, and brought it right back, which was not what I intended. But this whole situation, it kind of made me wonder, like, why was he putting that on his head like that? Like, why was he vibrating his skull with this vibrator? Is it because he has some fond in utero memories of when I almost punched a hole into his brain with one of those? Like, it's so neat how mothers and sons are connected like that, isn't it? That's so special. I wish they made like a necklace for that. Like, I remember my mommy's vibe. I am trying really hard not to be that over 30 TikTok mom. But the problem is I bought a ring light and I have a C-section scar. So now I think it's like my destiny to do that. I know you can't tell, but those of you who have seen me in person know that, well, on a good day, I'm almost 5 feet tall, which if you remember from when we used to go out and be with other humans, that's not very big. It's actually quite short. My friends recently busted me on a Zoom call because they caught me standing on a step stool to cut vegetables, because that's what my life is like. But on a spectrum of height, from, let's say, over here, like a true little person, to, you know, regular people, I like to think like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like I'm the fun size one. I'm the 100-calorie pack. Like, you know, maybe enough to just kind of whet your appetite, but not entirely satisfy you. I am also that kind of person who, when big people see me, they do this. and pat me on the head, which is a little condescending when you're 38. Oh wait, 39? I think 39. People also tell me often that they would like to put me in their pocket. I mean, first of all, you must have big ass pockets. Second of all I can do is improve the credit in your pocket because I have excellent credit. And finally, I don't really want to be in your pocket. My preferred method of being carried is in a Bjorn. And in a front-facing one, I don't want to be in the kind that's facing you. You know, I have a neck that I can hold up my head on my own, so I can face out and see the world. Thanks. The other comment that I get all the time, no matter what size dog I have, from a Chihuahua to a Great Dane, is, are you walking that dog or is that dog walking you? The dog is walking me. Yes, the dog told me what to do, put itself on a leash, and told me to follow behind. That's exactly what it told me to do. Do you ever hear that people look like their dogs? See, me and my dog, we do look the same. We have this same giant mess of curly hair. And of course, today my hair is straight, so it's not even curly. But he has the same like big smile, and we have the same hobbies, like we like to try and smell other strangers' crotches. But we have a bond even deeper than looks. And that is that we have the same personality quirks. Now, I adopted Mogambo when I moved to DC several years ago. And by adopted, I mean I gave a whole bunch of money to a breeder and I rescued him from this sprawling, beautiful dog paradise in Texas. And then I stuffed him into a 900 square foot apartment in DC. I'm hoping this is a safe space because that's really hard to admit these days that you paid money for a dog. Mogambo's name comes from a villain in a Bollywood movie. I can't tell you a whole lot of other stuff about Mogambo because here's the thing. You'll be able to figure out every single one of my passwords and you'll be able to steal my identity. So that's about as much as you can know. That's his name. But Mogambo is he's really dealing with like a lot of emotional stuff. But I can't figure out like what it is his anxiety is because he doesn't have a job. And all the times that he's at home, I've not even seen him look for a job. But you know, whatever it is that's swirling around in his head all day, it's pretty intense. Like, I mean, well, he is adopted, so there's that. He never knew his dad except for a picture that I found for him on the internet. And you guys, his mom was an actual bitch. He has all of these siblings that he doesn't even know. So again, I went online and I helped him to find these brothers and sisters. Oh, you guys, these are the best boys and girls. These are such good boys and such good girls. These are diabetic alert dogs. These are seizure alert dogs. These are agility champions. And you guys, I found them because they have their own Instagram accounts. That's what kind of dogs these are, sophisticated. My dog, on the other hand, is over here sorting clothes from my hamper, finding the dirtiest panties, and then making them crotchless. That is a pretty big talent, though. Not everyone can do it. You know, he also had to deal with his parents' divorce, and that must have been really hard for him. He was 5, and you know, he doesn't really understand why we don't all live together anymore. I still let him go to see his dad, but I can't tell if that's like weird of letting him go back and forth or not. I just want him to know his dad. So maybe it'll come as no surprise when I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, so was Mogambo. And, you know, if you're a depressed person, it really doesn't help to hear that your dog is depressed too. Like, for fuck's sake, like, how bad am I at life that I have this dog and his only job is to eat, play, and sleep. And he's in need of medication because he cannot fucking take it at my house. One day I came home from work and he was lying on the ground, surrounded by dirty laundry, listening to Adele. And he had just taken the trash and just strewn it all over the whole apartment and was just, you know, wallowing in it. And I did what any good mom would do. I got in my pajamas and I laid on the floor with him. Well, I'm kind of a lonely weirdo, so I talk to him all the time. And frankly, he's a lonely weirdo too, so he actually talks back. And he's not here today, but this Magambo is here today, the Beanie Baby version of Magambo. So he will be speaking for the real Magambo. So here's a normal conversation with the dog, how this would go. Magambo, what is it you have to be sad about? You have the most charmed life. You go to the same salon that the Obama dogs used to go to. You have a walker. You get to go to doggy daycare. You get fed twice, if not more times a day. I even bought you an indoor tennis ball launcher so you can play fetch all day long in the house when I'm at work. And work, forget work. We're in a pandemic, so you have mommy time all the time. Oh, and to top it all off, you can reach to lick your own private parts.
Okay, hey, first of all, they are called publics, not privates, because they're public. Everybody can see them all the time. See, everybody can see them. Whoa, I think it dripped. Hold on. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, you said that I get to eat 2 meals a day. You feed me the same stupid thing 2 times a day, every day for my whole life. Did you ever think that maybe I don't like Purina chicken and rice? Why are you depressed? You have a nice job with healthcare. You have a great family, a car, a place to live. And those are 2 different things. It's not like you live in your car. You have a car and you have a separate place where you live. What is it you have to be so sad about, Mom?
Magambo, it's my neurotransmitters. They don't work the way everyone else's do. They make me numb and incapable of feeling joy sometimes. It's not my fault that my brain chemistry is messed up. I'm trying really hard. Don't you know how hard it is to get out of bed some days?
Of course I do, Mom. I have depression too.
Oh yeah.
Wanna take a nap?
Okay. So I'm looking into getting us an emotional support peacock. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for having me.
Yay! Give it up for Rashee! All right, bravo! And if you're on mute, we can't hear your claps, so Justin! Oh, okay, great. For those of you who can click off mute, good job. All right, so Rashee is still able to sport those pigtails and look like a DC-10. If you want to be a DC-10, you can also find out what that means by visiting our website, litcomedy.com. All right, are we ready for our next house comic? Please give it up for Simone.
Thank you for those enthusiastic whatever you're doings at home. All right, so I'm a millennial. I know this about myself. I've come to accept it. I'm good with it. But you have to understand that I'm a millennial who came at the end of my parents' procreating years. I'm child number 5. Yes, I'm part of that dying breed of the large Catholic family. So my parents were getting busy like way back in the 70s, long before, as they would put it, I was a twinkle in anyone's eyes. Yeah, so my parents had just about the most 1970s looking wedding you could imagine. We're talking lavender tuxedos, complete with the ruffly shirt and black velvet trim. It was a look. Yeah. So my mom was able to get away with this request of my dad because, well, dad is colorblind. Yeah. And colorblind men, they don't get lavender. They literally can't see it. And I know that because I too married a colorblind man. Now, before you go like assuming I have weird daddy issues around it, no, No, that's not it. It's just that my mother and I both understand there's a significant power to being the one in the relationship who can tell red from green, right? We come in very handy at stoplights. It's true. Now, being Catholic parents, there were certain things that, let's say they dropped the ball on. The talk was not a shining moment for my parents. Now, first of all, it was Nanner's job. Nanner is what I call my mother, short for Nanette. Now, Nanner was really sick of giving this lecture, so she decided child 4 and 5 should just get it at the same time. A classic 2 birds, 1 stone scenario. Now, for me, that meant I was getting this information about 5 years too early, and with my big brother. Yeah, so for years, I was very confused about some things, like wet dreams. Does getting your period at night count? So when it came time for the talk, Nanner checked out her favorite book from our local library, a classic called What's Happening to Me? It's an animated guide to puberty. Now, this book was published in the mid-70s, so hair played a very prominent role in the animation. The only real lesson I remember from this book is that as a woman, you can be both a blonde and a brunette at the same time. Magic. But does that really matter if your husband's colorblind? So yes, I'm a millennial, which obviously means that my life's heroes are the Spice Girls. God bless them. I grew up on girl power. I'm a sporty Spice through and through. She's 100% the reason why I got this nose ring, because let's be honest, she made it look really damn cool. Now, I maybe took my love of the sporty Spice lifestyle a little too far when I decided to let it dictate my career choices. Yeah, I became a yoga teacher so that I could just wear athleisure wear all of the time. It's great. Now, you might think a Spice Girls fan of my caliber was following the girls on tour, going to concerts all the time, basically your 90s girl band deadhead type. This was not the case. Being in 4th grade at the time, couldn't really swing it financially. And Nanner said no, so it was just non-starter all the way. But she and I did come to a compromise, and she took me to what I think can only be described as a cinematic masterpiece. That is Spice World. Now, if you're unfamiliar, this movie had it all, okay? We're talking car chases, alien encounters, Elton John cameos. What more could you ask for from one movie? It also boasts a solid 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. So you know what? Suck on that, cats. Now, this movie, the experience of it, brought out what I would describe as the most Catholic side of Nanner. I'll walk you through it. So it started with the girls having a friend who happened to be both pregnant and unwed. Yes, this deeply disturbed Nanner, so she went into her purse to find her rosary beads. You know, the glow-in-the-dark kind, your theater beads. and she began praying, "Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for the Spice Girls, now and throughout the rest of this movie. Amen." Later, it's discovered that there is a bomb on the girls' tour bus, and this just sent her over the edge, went back into the purse for the little bottle of holy water that she keeps on her at all times, just splashing it wildly at the screen because why not anoint it for good measure, right? But it was the scene where there are backup dancers wearing assless chaps that she had to march me straight out of the theater and into a confessional. And for some reason, it became my responsibility to apologize for the impure thoughts of the filmmaker. Now, guys, I have to admit, every time I tell that last bit, I die a little bit inside. And I'll tell you why. I feel it is my duty as a former equestrian to let you know all chaps are assless, okay? Assed chaps are just pants. It's redundant. Okay, got that off my chest. Thank you. Now, do you have memories that haunt you? You know, thoughts that just churn up in the mind, keep you up at night? Cool. So as a Catholic child, you learn to sort these out into kind of two categories. So over here, you have your generalized anxiety. And then over here, you have your sins. And you can tell the difference because the sins are the ones you give yourself penance for. Penance is essentially the punishment for the crime, and I like to make a little game out of it. It's called How Many Hail Marys for That? So let's play, shall we? When I was a little kid, about 3rd, 4th grade, I thought it was really fun to sit at the back of the bus and flick off oncoming drivers. It's just like, eh. Because yeah, I was really, really cool. Now, this enraged one driver so much, he proceeded to cut us off, nearly killing a literal busload of children. So how many Hail Marys for that? Like 1 per endangered life kind of feels right, you know? So then I became a mean teen girl. Now, side note, Tina Fey did not make that shit up. Teen girls are awful, and they will end you, okay? I once told a friend she was trying to fit 10 pounds of ass into a 5-pound skirt. So how many Hail Marys for giving someone an eating disorder? Never enough is the answer for that one. Never enough. Now, then there's the time I told my gynecologist that she should cause her child physical harm. Okay, so I know that one needs like some more context around it. I'll give it to you. So her 3-year-old daughter was beginning to grow a unibrow. Why this came up at my gynecology appointment, I'm still unclear. I suppose my vagina also has a unibrow of sorts, so it seemed topical, I guess. Anyway, I was of the opinion that you gotta pluck that unibrow because the short-term physical pain far outweighs the emotional trauma of being a girl with a unibrow. Remember? Girls are terrible. Previous story. But, you know, that one keeps me up at night because what if I was wrong? What if I just deprived the world of the next Frida Kahlo and also encouraged light child abuse? How many Hail Marys for that? still working through it. Now, as I mentioned before, I am a reformed mean girl. Found yoga, really leaned in hard into it, became a teacher. And before all of this quarantine nonsense, there was a couple that I used to visit on a weekly basis in their home to teach them private yoga. For some reason, when I share that information, people think I'm teaching this couple sex stuff. Do I look like I know sex stuff? Okay, I don't. Remember the talk that I got? Yeah, I don't know sex stuff. I learned about sex from Cosmo magazine sitting at the back of the bus. Again, because I was really cool. Now, Cosmo just presented all of its information in listicle format. So 1 month you would learn something like 20 ways to drive your man wild. And number 1 would be suck his dick, but don't make him talk about it. Okay, got it. Next month, it would be 19 ways to create deeper intimacy in your relationship. And then number 1 would be make eye contact while you suck his dick, but don't make him talk about it. So I'm not sure how many ways Cosmo really needed to tell me to suck dick and shut up, but hey, I've been married for more than 8 years, so I guess it kind of worked out. Anyway, back to teaching yoga. So I had a client fall out of their headstand once, and they were so embarrassed, just apologizing profusely after class, just like, oh my God, that must be just your worst nightmare and your injury. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I had to try real hard not to laugh in this person's face, because that's nowhere near what my worst teaching nightmare is. Mine is that, say, I'm like demonstrating a pose for my class, but then my body decides to betray me with a super audible queef. And it happens, okay? Now, if you don't know the term queef, many people will tell you that it's the vaginal equivalent of a fart. But I disagree. I think it's more of a burp, and I will walk you through why. Let's think about it. So your vagina chugs in the air. It has nowhere to go. So it's coming straight back out. Also, your vagina and your mouth both have lips, so it's clearly the better comparison. Now, queefing when you're teaching, honestly, it's kind of like a rookie's mistake, because once you've been teaching for a while, you learn which are the pants that kind of hold it in for you, act as a force field, if you will. I mean, the real reason that we all stopped wearing Lululemons is just that, like, those pants, they're terrible queef mufflers. And that's what I have for you tonight, guys. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Simone and her vaginal burp. Yay! Burping is socially acceptable and very ladylike as far as we are concerned here at Lit. All right, guys, are you having a good time? I can't hear you because you're all on mute, so just
Yay!
all right, great. All right, so it's our final house comic of show number 5 for LITFest 2020. He is definitely our last house comic and our youngest in spirit, and he's checking to make sure he is in view. Please give it up for Mr. Ed Lee.
Thank you. Another hand for Simone. Great job, and Rashee. So, hey, I'm glad this whole quarantine thing is coming to an end, because we've done just about everything you can do at home, you know, cleaning, cooking, probably done the let's have sex in every room of the house thing, either with your partner or by yourself. Look, I've done what my country asked. I stayed at home and sat on my ass. Now, despite the problems America's going through right now, I love my country. I'd take a bullet for my country, okay? Well, in the leg, the fleshy part, you know, so it doesn't shatter any bones or anything. But look, you're drinking too much, you're smoking too much dope, you're watching too much TV, eating too many Cool Ranch Doritos, oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. You've been exercising at home. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've been exercising. So there's not much left to do anymore except, oh no, home projects. I hate home projects. Look, I can't do shit, okay? I can't fix anything. I can't build anything. I'm not a man. I'm just the male occupant in my house. And I've told my wife, look, honey, all my father taught me how to do is hold the flashlight, okay? And she says, look, come in here. I want you to try hanging this shelf and put a picture on each side of it. And I said, yeah, I'll get to that after I finish the replica of the Empire State Building in the backyard. And she says, no, come on, you can do it. Look it up on YouTube. So I go to YouTube, and I get Lloyd from Terre Haute, Indiana, in his mom's basement. And he says, welcome to Lloyd's DIY. DIY what? I don't care you got pulled over for drunk driving. I got to hang this shelf, all right? Since this is chapter 12, how to hang a shelf. Now, the first thing you want to do is measure the wall from the outside in and then from the inside out. Wait a minute, Lloydo. Nobody said anything about math being involved, okay? Then Lloyd says, the first tool you'll be needing will be a level. Place your level where the shelf is. Lloyd, buddy, pal, friend. Nobody owns a level. A level's something you borrow from a neighbor and don't return for like 8 months. A level, come on. Now, my father, he could fix anything. You know those dads that have the pegboard with the color-coordinated tools in descending order? Yeah, that wasn't my father. He had a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket with a hammer, 2 screwdrivers, a crescent wrench, and these things called channel locks. But with those few tools and a couple of goddammits and a few son of a bitches, and of course, my expert flashlight work, he could fix anything. Now, I have friends that have been quarantined, and they've been home, and they've been doing projects like, yeah, gonna put a powder room off the back of the house there. These guys are ordering building materials online when I can't even get a pizza app to work, okay? Now, those are the guys that have the pegboards with the color-coordinated tools in descending order. But they have special tools, like this stuff called spackle, which I always thought was something you ate with eggs and hash browns at a Greek diner. And then a Dremel. Oh yeah, the Dremel. That was in Game of Thrones, like Brienne of Tarth. The White Walkers are coming through the wall. You must release the Dremel. Then there's this tool called a Sawzall, which looks like a machine gun with a blade on the end of it. I mean, if I use that thing, you know, my hands would look like this, okay? But I like that word, Sawzall. So I made up this little ditty. Gonna build me a wall about 6 feet tall. I need a Sawzall. Jump in the car and I drive to the mall to buy a Sawzall. Start to cut it out when I begin to shout, cut myself with the Sawzall. Feeling kind of woozy, this cut's a real doozy. Blood dripping from the Sawzall. Put it down. So anyway, I've got to go and get this shelf up. So I go into the room and I shine my flashlight on the wall, but nobody shows up to do the work. Not even my new friend Lloyd, the drunk driver. But so I take a crack at it. And then I step back and I look at my work. And it looks like there's been a firing squad in there. There's 800 nail holes and stuff. And I hear my wife coming up from the cellar. Yes, we have a cellar, not a basement. There's a difference. A basement has wall-to-wall carpeting and a bar and an 80-inch HD TV. You know, the guys with the special tools on the pegboards and stuff, they have basements. But I've got a cellar. You know, it's dark and dank, bare light bulbs, and there's probably things living down there. So anyway, my wife comes into the room and she looks at my handiwork and is very disappointed. But she pulls from behind her back 2 boxes of Thin Mints. Thin Mints, the official aphrodisiac of AARP, Thin Mints. So immediately, I want to throw her down on the floor right there and do things to her taught to me by a female prison guard in West Virginia named Lurleen. But she's so disappointed in my work that instead I just shove half a sleeve of Thin Mints down my gullet. So as you can see, the expression with age comes wisdom. That's bullshit, okay? Look at me. Do I look wise? I'm wearing cargo pants. I watch Rick and Morty cartoons till 4 in the morning. Are those wise decisions? I don't think so. But, you know, I've just had a birthday. I'm getting older. Just turned 65. Yay, whoopee. It moved into the you're more likely to get the coronavirus demographic. So I'm 65, so let's see, when most of you turn 65, I'll be dead. But that's okay, you know, the whole circle of life thing and everything. I got a hard enough time just getting older. Because when you get older, like, things happen, like physically, you know, you start growing hair in weird places, like your ears and your nostrils. Now, I'm an Italian American man, so if I don't stay on top of that manscaping, I'm going to look like Chewbacca in 2 weeks, okay? Now, my parents' generation, they didn't care about any of that. They walked around looking like they had on earmuffs and a porcupine up each nostril. But we loved my Aunt Carmela, so we didn't say anything. Why, she was a wonderful woman. Now, the other thing that happens when you get older is you have more brain farts, along with the regular ones. So by brain farts, I mean, like the other day I said to my daughter, I said, honey, who's that guy I like on that show that's on that channel? And she just rolls her eyes at me and says, Dad, just Google it. So I Google, who's that guy I liked on that show? And Google says, look, Ed, you got to give us more to go on than that, okay? So, but what's weird is my friends my age, They understand me when I talk like that. Like I said to my friend Charlie the other day, I says, Chuck, who's that actor we like that's on that show, that's on that channel? And he says, yeah, I know who you mean. His wife was in that movie where the people are trying to get to the place. Yeah, and they got to capture the thing. Yeah, what's his name? Oh, I don't know. Google it. So, yeah, as you can see, I like my TV. And I've just gotten into the apps for TV, like, Disney and Netflix and Amazon Primo, Hulu, YouTube. I don't know. I just watch the programs, all right? I steal the passwords from my daughters. Yeah, my daughters. It's going to be Father's Day this weekend. My daughters, they're my heart. Now, I remember, when me and my friends were young and just starting out families, you'd get a guy say, gee, hope I have a boy so I can keep the name and the family legacy going. And I'd be thinking, yeah, civilization's probably going to fall apart if you don't produce a male heir from your loins from the shallow end of the gene pool. Come on. I mean, look, I'm a male too, and little boys are cute and everything. But come on, they're just mammals. They run around. They always got to hold on to themselves. Like, can I have a peanut butter sandwich? Yeah, just let go. It's not going to fall off. Oh, okay. So can I have a peanut butter sandwich? Where like little girls are like so intelligent and they hold your hand and look up at you and say, Daddy, will you be my boyfriend? And it's like, oh, geez, here, $20. Come on, I love you. Yeah, but then your daughters turn into teenagers. And you go from being their boyfriend to being that asshole they got to tolerate to get the car keys and get some cash from. So when my daughters were teenagers one time, my oldest daughter yelled from upstairs, Dad, can you please go to the store and get some tampons? And I'm a modern dad. I said, sure, honey. What kind? And she says, they're in a pink, yellow, and green bag. Gotcha. So I go to the supermarket and get some pretzels here, distilled water for the CPAP. Oh, look, the feminine hygiene aisle. So I go there. As soon as I get in the feminine hygiene aisle, the shelves are like 3 stories tall, filled with pink, yellow, and green packages. But they're all a little different. There's like heavy days, weekends, liners, pearls, which I thought was like a butt thing or something. And sport, scented, unscented, spearmint, menthol, I don't know. So I just grab like 3 packages and throw them in the carton. When I get home, I show them to my daughter. She says, no, Dad, these are all wrong. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. But she says, hey, Dad, thanks for trying. I love you. And it's like, oh, here's $20, So, yeah, I love my kids and getting older here and everything. But I don't want you to think that everything's bad about getting old. First of all, congratulations. You've made it to the final level of our game. You're still above ground. And I got to retire. Now, sorry, but you guys are never going to be able to retire, because you're going to be paying to keep my generation alive and paying off your student loans and paying for this pandemic. But we're talking about me, my retirement. Retirement was great. It was a good retirement. I could laud it over people. I could say, oh, geez, you got to go to work tomorrow, huh? Not me, I'm retired. Or I could do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, wherever I wanted. Well, as long as my wife said it was okay. And we got to travel. We went to Vietnam. Beautiful country, wonderful culture, the great food. But I couldn't help wondering, like 45 years ago, I'd have cut off a toe so I didn't get a free trip to Vietnam by the government. So yeah, retirement was great. That was good retirement. But now it's bad retirement because everybody's home. You can't go anywhere. So you end up on the couch eating Thin Mints and watching Rick and Morty. And then in a few months, your friends are on the phone saying, "Did you hear about Ed? Yeah, that's too bad. He just retired." Well, I don't want to be, "Did you hear about Ed?" I want to go back to good retirement. Now, my time is almost up here. Oh, I don't mean my performance. That's another hour and a half, and none of you can leave. No, I mean my time. I'm talking about old white man time, because it's a minute to midnight, folks, all right? It's time to take the keys away from Grandpa in his Cadillac that we call America, because he's hitting the guardrail too many times. Let's let women take over. Oh, no, we can't do that. Why? Are they going to make things worse? What are you, crazy? And by women, I don't just mean Karens or Lurleens, but, LaQuishas, My Pays, Esmeraldas, Rashees, because nobody can make more out of less than a woman of color. So, yeah, we're done with old white man time. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. All right, just one more, please. Let's get Joe Biden in and start things fresh, and then it's all over for old white men. Then you got it. Hey, listen, love everybody. Love each other. Thank you so much.
All right, let's give it up for Ed and his handy. Yes, and let's give it up one more time for Simone and her husband. And Rashee and her pigtails. All right, yay. Folks, if you didn't know this, every LITFest, we allow you, the laughers, to vote for your favorite comedians and acts of the festival. The link is in the chat room, or you can just go to the festival page where you bought your ticket or reserved your ticket and click on vote, and it'll take you to a page where you can vote for your favorites of the festival. And our comedians love it when they win because they're constantly seeking any form of validation. Thank you so much for joining us for show number 5 at the 10th annual LITFest Comedy Festival. If you like what you saw here today, keep in touch with us. Follow us on social media. Maybe make a $10 donation, help us survive the pandemic. Or if you think you're funnier, sign up for auditions or take a class. Folks, thank you so much for coming. Have a good night.